teaching about the four mindfulness and the mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of mind, and mindfulness of phenomena. So mindfulness. So I have to read this three pages of this mindfulness. So first I will read the identitylessness of phenomena, close placement of mindfulness on the body. The body is neither feet nor calves, thigh and the waist are not the body. The abdomen and back are not the body, and neither are the chest and shoulders the body. The ribs and the hands are not the body. Armpits and the nerves of the neck are not the body. All inner organs are not the body. Neither the head nor neck are the body. If the body abided in all its limbs equally in all directions, indeed I could say that all parts of the body abide in the parts of its limb, but where could be partless, true existent body itself abide? It would to exist independent of its parts and unrelated to them. And if the entire truly existent body abided separately in each of the individual parts, such as hands, then there would be there would have to be as many bodies as there were parts. If there is no truly existent body outside or within, how could the hands and so forth have such a body at all? Also, since it is not something different from the hands and other parts, how could a separate body unrelated to its parts exist? Therefore, the body is not truly existent, but through being confused about its hands and other parts, a mind that mistaken them for truly existence body arises. However, body does not the truly existence in the way it apprehended by that mind. It is like mind apprehending pile of stone as a man because of their being set up in a form similar to a man. In the same way, the pile of stone will appear to be man for as long as the causal condition to mistake them for a man are assembled. So will be the hands, so forth appears as truly existent body for as long as the causal conditions to mistaken them for a body are present. Just as the body as whole is not truly existent, how can the hands of truly existent? They are only composite of the fingers. The fingers too are not truly existent because they are the collection of the joints, and the joint in turn, by being divided into their parts, are also found to be not truly existent. Likewise, these parts are divided into atomic particles, and atomic particles into their directional parts. They are revealed as multiply and thus cannot be truly existent unit. Even when the directional parts are divided up, they are found to be devoid of truly existent parts. Hence, they are found to be empty as space. And so even atomic particle can have no truly existence. Thus, although the body appears to be truly existent, in fact it is not. Therefore, who having analyzed it, it will be attached to this like dream-like form. And when in this way the body is not truly existent, how can the distinction be made into truly existent male and female bodies? So this is mindfulness of the body, and the mindfulness of the feeling. So this is a discussion between Madhyamika school and logician particular school, Hindi school. So Madhyamika, if feeling of pain truly exists, since they will never end, why would they not affect feeling of great joy and happiness, making it impossible for them ever to arise? Conversely, if happiness had truly existed, why do those suffering greatly from grief and sickness not find and joy in delicious food and the like? They should it happen had true independent existence, but they clearly do not answer. Indeed, pain really exists, but when a strong feeling of pleasure occurs, the pain is not experienced because it is overridden by the pleasure. Madhyamika, yet simply because its lack of defining characteristic of the feeling, namely experience, how can something which is not of nature of an experience be a feeling? Answer. It is feeling because there is an existence of very subtle pain. Surely only the gross aspect of suffering is dispelled by the strong pleasure. The nature of this subtle pain is slight, weak feeling of happiness, distinct from the gross sensation of pleasure. Madhyamika. However, subtle experience cannot possibly be form of pain because you now say it is form of happiness. No experience can be simultaneously pleasurable and painful. If pain is not occurring in someone's mind because its opposite is occurring, then to consider what has not occurred to be feeling is surely what could only be called a mistaken conception. Therefore, as a remedy for such mistaken conception, one should cultivate the wisdom which analyzes the non-true existence of all phenomena, a state of absorption that arises from the field of what is examined by this mind is nourishment that sustains the yogi's understanding of way the thing exists. There now follows a refutation of non-true existence of contact, the cause of feeling. In the first three stanzas, 93 and 95, the argument is directed against those who assert partless atomic particles. Madhyamika. If there were space between the sense faculties such as eyes and objects such as visual form, how could two ever meet? They would be like mountain in the east and the mountain in the west. If there are no space at all, then since they would not become one unit, what could meet what? There would be no meter and nothing to be met with. Furthermore, the atomic partless of the sense faculty and atomic partless of the object cannot meet on all sides. Because they cannot enter into one another, they cannot merge into one another. There is no, because atomic particles have no space inside and are completely equal in size. Were they to meet, they would have to do so in this way, because without one partless atomic particle entering into another. There would be no mixing of the two, and without this mixing, there could not possible be anything meeting on all sides. And how would it be logical for those who accept the existence of partless atomic particle to say that is met on one particular side by another partless atom? If that were the case, the partless atomic particle would one part which is met with and another part which is not met at all. Hence, it would no longer the partless. However, if you ever see an atomic particle that has no part, but can you still the meet with, please show it to us. If also follow that it is illogical to meet consciousness because it is not physical, something physical cannot possibly meeting something non-physically. Objection. Although there is no physical meeting, there does exist mere aggregation of the sense faculty, object and consciousness to produce the effect of a cognition. Answer. This is invalid because just as we analyzed before, an aggregate is not found to be true existent thing. If in this way contact, the cause of feeling is not truly existent. From what truly existent feeling the effect arises. Thus, what is the purpose of tiring oneself out for the sake of obtaining pleasurable feelings, and likewise, whose mind could be the cause and harmed by what painful feeling, both the pleasure which is obtained and pain which is harmed have no true existence. Reading. What is that? When there is no true existent identity of the person that feels and no true existent feeling either, having seen this situation, why do I not turn away from the craving to obtain pleasure and to separate from pain? Since the sense of object that I see and touch appear to me but have no true existence, their nature is like dream and an illusion. Therefore, the subjective feeling of them can also have no true existence. Feelings are not seen or experienced by the mind which arises simultaneously with them, because since they are produced simultaneously with it, they would be causally unrelated. Likewise, previous feeling and later feeling can be remembered and wished for, but they cannot be actually experienced by the mind because they have either ceased or are yet to be produced, because there will be no experience and nothing experienced. They cannot experience themselves, and if one's mind of the past, present, future cannot experience them, nothing else can experience them either. Therefore, no truly existent experience of feeling exists, and thus no truly existent feeling exists either. So how can this identityless collection of aggregate be benefited by the pleasurable feeling and harmed by painful ones? It cannot, because beneficial and harmful do not truly exist. Next one is close placement of mindfulness on the mind. A truly existent mental consciousness does not abide in the sense faculties such as eyes. It does not abide in objects such as visual form and it does not abide in between the two. Neither does a truly existent mind exist either inside or outside the body. It is not to be found elsewhere. The mind is neither the body nor truly other than it. It is not mixed with nor entirely separate from it. The mind is not in the slightest bit truly existent. Therefore, all sentient beings have from very beginning been in the natural nirvana. Their mind have always been devoid of truly existence. Question: although the mental consciousness may exist in that way, don't the five sense consciousness truly apprehended their five objects? Answer: well, let us first consider whether they exist prior to, simultaneously with, or after their object. If we say that five sense consciousness exist before the five objects of which they are conscious, then having referred to what object could those consciousness arise? At that time there would be no object, because there would still have to be produced. Even if the consciousness and what it is conscious of arose simultaneously, still having referred to what object could be consciousness arise. In this case, when the consciousness is yet to be produced, so is its object, and once it has been produced, there would be no need for to be produced by an object. And if the consciousness came into existence after the object of which it is conscious, then from what object could it arise, since the object would have ceased by the time consciousness arose? The consciousness would have no object. Now, close placement of the phenomena. In this way, the means of the above reasoning, one will come to understand all phenomena do not truly arise. Rejection of argument, objection. If in this way the all phenomena do not arise, since there would be no deceptive truth which arise and perish, how could two truths are present in the Madhyamika tradition? Furthermore, if all phenomena exist in this way, and deceptive truth were posted merely through being imputed as arising and perishing entity by beings who have deceived mind, how could sentient beings pass from sorrow into nirvana? They could not, because even though some beings have entered the unchanging state of nirvana, it could become unchanging deceptive truth through others simply imputing it to be an arising and perishing entity. Reply: in reality it is unchanging, but through not understanding this, it can be misconceived of arising and perishing, just because it is posited as a deceptive truth with regard to that particular false conception. This does not imply that it ceased to exist an unchanging state. That false conception cannot cause nirvana to no longer exist, because another person cannot make something else to deceptive truth out of his own deceptions. The deception is distorted conception in the mind of the someone who has not passed into a state beyond sorrow. It is not the deceptive mind of one who has passed beyond sorrow. Later, when the state of nirvana is attained, if this deceptive conception were ascertained to exist, nirvana would exist as a changing deceptive truth, But since this deceptive conception does not exist in the mind of one who attained nirvana, nirvana does not exist as a changing deceptive truth. Objection. Since the examining mind exam objects are mutually depend upon one another, if the object is not established, the mind too would be non-existent. Therefore, your analysis of non-true existence would be invalid. Reply. Indeed, because the object does not truly exist, the mind does not truly exist. But this does not mean that the analysis is invalid, because all analysis mind are spoken of conventional consciousness and are said to be that depend upon reasoning which is accepted in the world. If it were necessary to analyze the analytic mind with another truly existent analytic mind, then that analytic mind too would have to be analyzed by yet another analytic mind. Therefore, since the process would never reach an end, the basis object of analysis would never be ascertained. When the object of analysis has been analyzed by established to be empty, the analytic mind is found not to have truly existent object as its basis or reference. Thus, because it is understood that there is no truly existent object, even without analysis, it is understood that a truly existent analytic mind cannot arise from it. This state of peace is which no truly existent object nor consciousness arise is called nirvana, state of beyond sorrow. Okay, so this finished reading. Now we are talking about mindfulness, right? So first, so we are talking about mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the body. So first, mindfulness is it is like recognizing the valuables of your human body. You know, it means recognizing our precious human body. So our precious human body is endowed with 8 freedoms and 10 endowment. 18. So everybody have not precious human rebirth. You know what I mean? So what happened? Okay. So that means if you have no Dharma, right, people will not recognize your precious human rebirth. So people maybe recognize body when they are dying, you know, losing something. When something happened to body, then people paying attention. Otherwise, when you are alive, you will not recognize your precious human body, you know. So it means this body is mindfulness of body, right? Mindfulness of body is so Buddha said mindfulness of the body. Buddha is reminding us to see the body in the body, body in the body. So it means this body is ordinary body, then not precious human rebirth. Right? Our body is precious human body. Precious human body means everybody have not precious human body. People who made the Dharma have precious human body. 8 freedoms and 10 endowment, right? So need 18 qualities. So therefore it's very difficult to find, right? Body in the body. By this word means we should recognize that body is not solid. Body is not solid because it is nature of impermanence. You know what I mean? Nature of impermanence. So we are thinking we will not die all the time. So we are not remembering the impermanence. So we have to remember body as the body. The mindfulness of the body means body is not solid, because body is produced by 5 aggregates. You know this, right? So it's like Buddha saying that to reflect mindfulness of body means we are not punishing ourselves. Discipline your mind will discipline the body. Taming your mind will tame your body. So that means it's not like somebody punishing from the outside. It is something like that you will sacrifice long-term interest. You will for the sake of short-term interest. That is the discipline, self-discipline, and disciplined mind. So let me give example of if you have kind of like stomach pain, right? Stomach upset. So you will avoid eating certain levels of food. You know, even there is food. So you will avoid that food in order to protect your stomach. That is protection, isn't it? It's not punishing somebody from the outside. So similarly, we are protecting our mind. So when the mind is protected, we'll protect our body, right? Mind is the key factor. You know what I mean? Key factor, isn't it? So Buddhist teaching that you are your witness. You know, you are your own master. You are your own enemy. You know, so you have responsibility. Right? You are your own master. You are your own enemy. All actions, good, bad, you are the witness of your actions. Because so that means mindfulness of the body means we should not take. Nobody want to take poisonous food. Right? Even we talk about poisonous food, nobody will eat the poisonous food. Right? Nobody, because they know if you eat the poisonous food, that will cause you harm, pain, and eventually kill you. Right? That nobody want to eat the poisonous food. Even nobody want to talk about poisonous food. Right? Because they know it is very harmful for your body and cause you pain. So similarly, Buddha is talking about do not eat poisonous food. He means do not eat afflictive emotion poisonous food. That will cause you as pain, physical pain and mental pain. Your actions of the body, your actions of the speech, your actions of the mind, if you mix with poisonous food, then what happens? You know, there's physical suffering, mental suffering. You will never end this problem, because here Buddha avoid poisonous food means mainly 2 poisonous food, which means grasping mind and self-judging mind. So when you mix anything with this food, you will not end the problem. endless problem, right? So similarly, so that is the mindfulness of the body. So be mindful because we have to recognize this precious body and utilize this precious body is something he said we have to utilize this precious body because Buddha said since we born, like since we born, half of the life is taking up with the sleeping. 10 years I spent in childhood, 10 years, children like this. And 20 years are last in old age, right, 20 years. Out of the remaining 20 years, right, 20 years, then sorrows, pain, complaining, pain, physical, mental pain, agitation, much of all hundred thousands of pains we have, right? Physical. This is what mean to be Buddha, mindful about your body, because your body is nature of impermanence. It will take care like that. Right? So that mindfulness of the body. The mindfulness of the now body is the basis of our pain. Right? No body, no feeling, right? It's the base of pain. On the basis of body, we have feeling, right? Then we have mind, which discriminate, like that, right? So the body is the basis. So that body is now the feeling is asking. Feeling means Buddha is telling us to contemplate feeling in the feeling. We need to contemplate body in the body, right? Now feeling in the feeling, this word remind us that like the body, feeling can be subdivided. Generally speaking, like 3 types of feeling. Pleasure feeling, unpleasure feeling, and neutral feeling. Each type, one feeling in the mental awareness that we can feeling at any given moment, we are able to notice only one type. What pleasant feeling is present? Neither painful feeling or neutral feeling in the present. The same true of an unpleasant or the neutral feeling. We are experiencing the particular feeling as one of many feelings rather than as my feeling or as part of me. That's the feeling of feeling. As we watch each emotions, right, sensations, pleasure, pain, when we watch, right, it arises, it remains in the present, and it passed away. Passed away, we observe that any feeling is impermanence. Since pleasant feeling does not last, and unpleasant feeling is often painful, we understand the feelings are unsatisfactory. That is feeling of the feeling. When the feelings are unsatisfactory. So that means when we encounter with problem, right? So we feel the problem, right? When we have pleasure, feel the pleasure. So when we encounter with problem of the feeling, then we analyze that feeling, analyze that problem of the feeling, whether we can solve this feeling right now or not. Right? If we can think we can solve this feeling problem, then we should apply remedy to remove from this feeling. But if you, through your analytical meditation, if that feeling, you can't solve this feeling, then instead of worrying, right, upset about this feeling, if you upset about this feeling, will bring you more pain, more suffering. So therefore, right now, I can't solve this problem. I will solve this problem in the future. You know what I mean? So that will not make feeling more intense. That will not make our feeling to be big, or not increase the feeling. At least, yeah.
Then this cycle of feeling before you said this unsatisfactory.
Yeah.
Right?
In the samsara is
this like dukkha?
Yeah.
Like unsatisfactory?
Feeling in the samsara, everyone is.
You cannot satisfy?
Yeah, samsara is unsatisfactory. Samsara pleasure is not permanent pleasure. Like samsara pleasure remain and go. It's not permanent pleasure, right? So what we are seeking is permanent pleasure, right? So permanent pleasure means we are sacrificing short-term happiness for the long term. Like short-term difficult, you can accept this difficult because you see the long picture. You know what I mean? So that's people do in the West, right? When you go to work, right, may have problem, lots of problem. But you can see the long vision of retirement, right? You accept this problem. Because you see whenever you go, there's problem, right? But you go every day because you have long vision. When I'm retired, I get this money and I have good life. So is this in your picture? If you go to work, much easier, right? If you have no this long-term picture of the retirement or vision, right? Then you go to work, maybe very difficult. Very difficult to, when you encounter with the problem, right? You may lose patience or whatever, So that's similar. That's the feeling, mindfulness of feeling. Feeling is unsatisfactory. The mindfulness of mind, the same process. Mind, Buddha talked about mind or consciousness is a succession of particular instant of mind is mind. As mindfulness practice teaches us, consciousness arises from movement to movement on the basis of information coming us from the sense. That makes sense, right? Information, sensory consciousness, see, touch, think, give information to the mental consciousness. And mental consciousness think, oh, this is good, this is bad. Smells good, like right, wrong. Seeing something and then information to the mental consciousness. And then thinking is conceptual thinking, way of thinking, right? So who give information? Sensory consciousness. Give information to the mental consciousness. And mental consciousness, if the mental consciousness is strong, right, and something stable, you will take the information and go to right directions, right? If the mental consciousness is not that strong, so you will mistaken the information, so you will go to wrong directions. That's the problem. You know what I mean? So that's I'm talking about. This mindfulness of mind is we look at the mind. We are not looking at mere consciousness. Mind alone cannot exist. So paying attention to the way each thought arises, remain in the present. And so we are paying attention to thought in the mindfulness. of the mind. Now, mindfulness of the phenomena, Dhamma, right? Mindfulness Dhamma means we should be mindful of teaching, right? Teaching, Buddha Dhamma, teaching. So that's the meaning of the Dhamma means it's not outside, right? It is inside, right? Dhamma is internal. So therefore, this is like Buddha give. So here Buddha said, looking for his Buddha before he attained enlightenment, right? Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha also searched outside of himself. He's looking happiness from outside. And he was looking for his maker, maker. The cause of his existence he would call the builder of his house. Builder of his house. But never found that he was looking for. Instead, he discovered that he himself was subject to be birth, aging, sickness, and death. So recognition helped them to see that no one outside himself could free from him from his suffering. So he began to search within, inside, right? Inner seeking is known as come and see. When he began to search inside, he find the answer. Buddha find the answer. Then he said, in the sutra, right? Said, Buddha said, many birds are wander in samsara, right? Beginningless, seeking but not finding the builder of this house. Sorrowful is to be born again and again in the samsara, wheel of life, right? So, twirlings of interdependent origination, cycle of existence. O house builder, thou art seen. Thou shalt not build house again. All thy rafters are broken. The rich pole is shattered. The mind has attained the unconditioned. That is the means mindfulness of the mind, right? So we are looking mindfulness of the phenomena is Dhamma, So Dhamma means transformation of the mind. Generally speaking, transformation of the mind. To transforming your mind, right? So when you changing your mind. So that's Dhamma, right? So changing your mind, but Buddha first look outside, right? Thought he will solve the problem. But then he started looking inside, right? Looking inside means, so start with the mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, and mindfulness of the mind, and then mindfulness of phenomena. So then Dhamma, whatever appears is illusion. Whatever appears to your mind is not reality, right? Appearances are mistaken. So then Buddha made clear the appearance and reality become oneness. When the appearance and reality become oneness, there is no dual mind. You make appearance to be reality. Whatever appears good, bad, one taste taste of Dharma. So that means, so that Buddha talking about Dharma, right? Dharma. So people like us, when we encounter with some difficulties, then we will give the Dharma, Oh no, Dharma is not helping like that. But when we have no problem, then we can, I can do practice. I can sit down there. But when really problem arises, then no Dharma. So that means appearance and reality going to different directions. So you're not making that appearance to be reality. So appearance is illusion. So you have to change that illusion to be reality. That illusion is mistaken, like magician created. Like magician create all these things, right? It's not true. Like when we look, it looks like real horse or real, snakes or elephants or whatever, but it's not true, right? So all appearances are, whatever appears, you can make into the Dharma, means appearance to the reality. So that's the mindfulness of the phenomena. So that's the four mindfulness. Mindfulness of body, mindfulness of what? Mindfulness of body, then mindfulness of feeling, then mindfulness of the mind, mindfulness. This come one by one. So that's teaching finish. Okay.